Hello and welcome. Just using a little bit of Palo Santo to bless, cleanse, and neutralize the pendulum. We're going to talk about pendulums today. Go get your coffee, grab your tea, and if you have a pendulum, bring it with you. See you in a minute. All right, you guys. We are going to talk about pendulums today. And they can be in any different form. This one happens to be a crystal, quartz crystal, and that is a Maburka, the 10-pointed star up in it, kind of expensive. This one is a brass pendulum on the bob. The pendulum itself is actually the same as the old-fashioned carpenter's plumb bob. Okay, so it is a bob. Even though the whole thing is a pendulum. If it swings, it's a pendulum. If it drops straight down, it's a bob. Don't get tangled up with the terminologies too much. I just want you to get the feel for how to use it and how to get it working. So this one happens to be solid brass. I like it. This is one I made for teaching years ago. It's huge. It is just a big crystal that I believe I bought like at Michael's or Pat Catan. Just put a chain on it and it will work. Even though it is so big, it will work. Now, it makes no difference what they're made of. Some of the best pendulums I have ever seen are natural, okay? I've seen wood ones. The most popular just seems to be crystal. Whatever appeals to you. You may want to make your own. You can use a necklace. If you're away from home and don't have a pendulum, you can use your necklace. As a matter of fact, for centuries, women have been using wedding rings on a string over top of a pregnant woman's tummy to determine whether it's a boy or a girl. Yes, those are all pendulums. First off, anything we use for divination, and divination is connecting to the other side. It is communicating with the matrix over there, that all the information that we need, psychics and mediums and as normal people, is over there in the matrix. Learning how to tap into that this will help you do that. It's just one of those steps in developing your own personal abilities. Now, when you get your pendulum, whether you make yours, buy it, you can get them on eBay or Amazon. Now, a lot of people like to touch their own pendulum. Anytime I order anything from eBay or Amazon, I ask Spirit on the other side to connect me to the one that they feel is best for me. So that's how I do it. But when you get your pendulum, I think I'll use this one just for the sake of the video. When you get it out of the package and you get it home, I want you to cup that thing in your hands and hold it, bring it right up to your heart. If you have taken my tarot classes, you know that we do the same thing with the tarot cards. And this is forming a bond, an energetic bond between you and your pendulum. Just hold it up there a little bit. Throw it energy. Throw it energy. Feel it. Try to connect to it. Now, one thing about pendulums, they will not work if you don't believe in it. Will not work. I do work with a lot of counselors. They send me a lot of referrals. I can get to the root of a problem a little quicker in a different way than a conventional counselor can. But I see a lot of counselors using pendulums now. And if you're a counselor and you're using that pendulum, hats off. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But make sure you take the time, because you can open a portal with these, just like anything for divination. When you're talking to the other side, you can open a portal. So I want you to take time to bond with it. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is cleansing it. How do you neutralize it? Well, you saw me the first part of the video. I was cleansing mine with some smoke from Palo Santo and asking that it be blessed, cleansed, and neutralized. A lot of what you achieve is through the energy that you speak. You always hear me say, I only work with beings of the light. I keep reinforcing that every time I say that. But I want you to learn how to bless, cleanse, and neutralize your devices, pendulums, or even dowsing rods. Again, that's something used for divination. So you can cleanse that in between uses in that smoke. You can actually use dry salt. Himalayan salt works the best. Just park them right down in there. It's a good parking spot. Put it right down in a little dish of salt. Other ways to neutralize them: set them in the windowsill. Allow the moonlight. Full moon's coming up on the 15th. So remember to get your crystals out in the windowsill so they can be cleared and recharged by the moon. All right, now we have this doggone pendulum. We've got it cleared. We've connected to it. It's mine. I love this thing. The next thing you want to do is ask it, will you please show me yes? It's not they're not standard. If somebody tells you that you can only go and it can only go in a circle for yes, no, that's their way of using the pendulum. That's their connection. It will work different for you. So I want you to simply ask it, which way is yes? Now, both feet flat on the floor. You must be grounded. Did you see me uncross my legs just before I said that? You need to be grounded as best you can. If you're in your bare feet in the living room, that's fine too. But as more grounded, the better. Now, I'm going to ask again, of course, I've been talking the pendulum. Can you please swing and show me how you and I connect for yes? Okay, I don't know if you could see that. Oh, okay, let's do this, Tina. No, I'm out of screenshot. I'll back that up a little bit. All right, here we go. Again, pendulum, can you please show me how you're going to swing for yes? Okay, that is going back and forth from me towards you, okay? Yes. And for me, the Y for yes is what's kind of, that long tail of the Y is what I associate that with. That particular swing back and forth is the tail of the Y for yes. For me, it could be different for you. Whatever works best for you. I'm just showing you a basic way that I do it, so you can adjust that for your own. All right. Spirit, I ask you to connect me to the pendulum and show me which way we swing for no. Now, it started swinging before I got it finished. It tapped into my question ahead of time. Before I could even get it all out, it started to swing. Now, it is actually going in a very small circle. Actually, there it goes, it's getting a little bigger. Can you see the circle? Notice how it's kind of, in the video, I can see it on the monitor, that it is a little jerky looking, but that's okay. That's the energy kind of pulsing through it. Again, it will not work if you do not believe. You will get all kinds of variations of the swing and not a good response. You have to have your arm planted very comfortably. It's hard to avoid jerking and shaking, but do the best you can. There are even little devices you can buy on Amazon or eBay that literally just hold them for you. Kind of a little, I don't know, a little arm thing that kind of suspends it. It's made out of metal, but a little elbow, but it will hold it for you. But you do not get the results because the energy that is flowing through you, because you're tapping into the matrix, whether you realize it or not. The energy that flows through you is flowing through and into the pendulum. Give me a second here. So keep your arm as steady as possible. I know it's hard. I have actually used a flashlight as a pendulum. We were out camping, and a young man that I was talking to, I could feel his grandfather entered the circle at the campfire. And ancestors often do. They love fire. So I could feel his grandfather come into the circle, and I mentioned to him, I said, your grandfather is here. And actually, it was his grandfather and his father, because they all had the same first name, Albert. And I didn't have anything, and he didn't believe me. And I didn't have anything, didn't have my flashlight, I didn't have a real pendulum. I took a square, clunky flashlight. It was about this size. It had a clip on it. And I took a tent string, clipped it on that flashlight, and allowed it to hang. And I spoke to his ancestors through that pendulum, allowed them to come through and indicate to him that he was there. You cannot second guess yourself when you do this. You've got to just have confidence. Anything you do with the esoteric or the paranormal or whatever you want to call this whole entire realm that's out there, you've got to have faith in yourself that what you're saying is right. Sometimes it's hard. So now we have established yes and no with the pendulum. I have used pendulums in the past to find lost things. You have to learn to only ask questions that have a yes or no answer. I have asked it in the past to give me a direction also. Got a little more complicated because we never established that with the yes or no, like I just instructed. So I did not have it instructed correctly on direction. I was looking for a lost horseshoe. And it literally did take me to the direction. Once I stopped and I said, look, let me change my question. Can you show me the direction that I need to go in? And the swing no longer went circle for no. It no longer went forward for yes. It took a different direction and went sideways. So I knew I had to make a right or a left turn at that point. Go that way or that way. So there you have it. You can use pendulums in your day-to-day life. Like I mentioned, counselors are beginning to use them all over. They are understanding that they don't always know themselves. I don't know what questions counselors ask their pendulum. What I am seeing, though, is sometimes they don't believe or trust their client. And they are just needing accuracy. And it's not that they feel that the client is totally lying, but that the client may be seeing what they're dealing with at their own perspective and not very accurately. I got to tell you one thing about that, not seeing things accurately if you don't see it with your own eyes. About 30 years ago, my better half and I was pregnant. And somehow he got into a bet with some ladies during my pregnancy. He was a stripper. And he was not built like a stripper, male stripper. But it was a joke. And at the last minute, he told these gals that, yes, he would be the stripper and he would show up at their party, yada, yada. He hired somebody to show up and do the stripping. A young man. My other half was late 40s at that point, maybe, I guess, early 40s. And he had a big, thick Sam Elliott mustache. Huge cookie duster. So when we hired the stripper to dance for these ladies, we gave him a Lone Ranger mask, and that was it. He had a shirt that he ripped off and showed his big muscled chest. Now, I got to tell you, my other half at that time had a big old beer belly. However, the women at the party were so in the moment, they did not make the connection that wasn't my husband. They did not. They thought it was him. 4 months until we finally divulged, like, let the secret out. So, you can't always believe exactly what you see. So I want you to feel it. When you know, you know. All right, you guys, there you have it. A little information on how to get your pendulums to work for you, how to bless, cleanse, and neutralize them, how to get them to connect and bond to you personally. And I always want you to use it with the best intentions, for good. If you're asking about what the ex is doing, check your motives. You create bad karma for yourself when you do that. If you're just being nosy, that's bad karma. All right, you guys, there you have it. I'm going to let that go there. This is a vlog on pendulums. You know, I never leave you that I don't bless you with love and light. I will see you guys soon. Take care.